What's going on, everybody? So if you haven't heard, Nicki Minaj has released a new diss track coming back at Remy Ma called No Frauds, featuring Lil Wayne and Drake. Now, I don't know how to feel about this because a diss record, a real vintage diss record, like Remy Ma went off for like 7 minutes going in on Nicki Minaj. And Nicki Minaj took 5 weeks. Of course, it wasn't literally 5 weeks, but I'm just saying, it took a long time for her to respond. Then she goes and features Drake and Lil Wayne. Now, let me tell you why this doesn't make sense. Remy Ma used one of I want to say probably the best diss record I've ever heard in my life with Ether. That completely changed hip-hop, in my opinion, with the whole fact that Jay-Z at that time was a king, and it kind of really threw a little bit of dirt on him. And then Nas went on to do, what was it? Because he dropped another album, and then he continued to go on, you know, and pursue the fact that he wanted to take out Jay-Z Dolo. You know what I'm saying? It was a one-man diss track, one-man, like, outrageous exploitation of everything that Jay-Z was at the time, whatever like that. I know there's still Jay-Z fans. I love me some Jay-Z. I love Nas. If I had to pick, I probably, you know, definitely would go Jay overall, but just for the body of work. But I can't really give Nicki Minaj a lot of credit for. Let me just say this. Last year, Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj, they were making songs together. Everything was good. She didn't even really pay attention to Drake as much. It was like she's really going with her man, defending Meek Mill, all that stuff, when Drake was dropping all his diss tracks and everything like that. All of a sudden now, everybody's back together. Now, you could say, all right, it's sort of black unity, which I don't know if that really exists, but this doesn't really make any sense because the song is going to sell just because of the names. And you can't do a diss record with other people on it because Remy Ma didn't need anybody. The only thing that I could say about the actual problem that I had with Remy Ma is that she dropped back to back. I didn't really like it. I thought it took away from Sheether. I thought if she just left Sheether the way it was, that was hot enough. She got to go on Wendy Williams. It got her the acclaim that she needed. She completely spoke about things that it was true. You know, Nicki Minaj's brother allegedly doing certain things with underage girls. You know, her surgeries, her butt dropped. That was actual source from Meek Mill, which I still believe that men should never do. You should never do that. Doesn't matter. You know, people are like, yo, on my last video, yo, son, he destroyed her. You know, Meek Mill. Like, shut up. You dudes are not from the hood. Nobody does. Look, men don't do that. Women go around and do what they got to do, but men are not supposed to do that. So that's it. That's where it ends right there. But Meek Mill, you don't get respect for, you know, telling about what your woman is going through. That doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, I just listened to this track thoroughly. Okay? Lil Wayne and Drake, you can't put two other dudes on a diss track where a female came at you by herself. Why do you need... And then the thing that I like about it, I think, you know, this is going to get a lot of radio play because it's very, very commercial. The beat is hot. Everything about it is just it's just showing that Nicki Minaj is not into just like outright going at somebody's neck. I got to give Drake credit now because when he went at Meek Mill, that still was like a club, you know, it was like a club banger, but it was still like directly going at Meek Mill by himself. There was nobody featured on it, nobody doing anything else, just Drake. That made it a real diss track, and it was also something that was commercial. This, in my opinion, this doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. Like, it wasn't like it's like a party track where she's just, you know, taking subliminal shots. She's directly answering Remy Ma. So you can't have Drake all of a sudden on your song when last year it was like, it was nothing going on with you and Drake. It was all Meek Mill. So you call the song No Frauds, but that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how to feel about it. I know the Barbie, you know, her Barbies and her Barbs are gonna, you know, support it regardless. But in my opinion, if you're gonna do it this way, why would you do it? Just continue to ignore her. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, it's sort of like what Drake did with Joe Budden. Just completely ignore him. Don't come at him when a dude goes that, you know, Remy Ma went so hard. And then you're gonna come out and do this with Drake and tunechi. You know that it's gonna sell. That's the only reason that all of a sudden everybody's friends again. Meek Mill is out the picture because he talking about your butt cheeks dropping. Now everybody is friends again. That's pretty fraudulent to me. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's all industry. It's what they're doing. The bottom line is, I'm gonna let you guys understand certain things about the track. Nicki Minaj does outright answer about Remy Ma's claims about her having a 360 deal. You know, like she was signing Young Money to Cash Money to all kinds of money with the cash, however that goes. And that's also a problem. Like, why are you addressing those specific deal, you know, those deal inquiries that she said in her track? Now you give Remy Ma more fuel. You talk about her son. You talk about the fact that she also had surgeries. it doesn't make it, like, both of you guys have plastic surgery, so I kind of get that Remy Ma probably shouldn't be, going that hard about your ass dropping, but I don't think Remy Ma needed the ass thing, and I think her points are still valid. A lot of females, people of color primarily, are dying due to butt injections. I don't know if people are really dying over, getting their titties done and stuff like that. I know Remy Ma got her titties. I'm not sure, I gotta go check the stats on that, but I know the butt has become a huge thing, and people have been doing underground things and have been dying from that. So there's points to both sides. I don't agree at all with the fact that Lil Wayne should not be on this. Lil Wayne should not be on this diss track. Drake should not be on this diss track. If Nicki Minaj is coming after Remy Ma, she should do it by yourself. If she's that big right now. You know what's funny? It doesn't even matter what she would have put out. Like, honestly, everybody's gonna listen to it anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's still Nicki Minaj. She's made it as far as, like, worldwide. People know who she is. It doesn't really matter if those two are on it, but that just enhances it. Now everybody want to listen to it. I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw that the song was released, I only wanted to listen to it because Drake was on it. So it's not even Nicki Minaj that pulled me in it. But when I heard Remy Ma's thing, Remy Ma pulled me in right away by herself. And it was like a 7-minute diss track, and I listened to the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? My wife doesn't even listen to hip hop, and she listened to the whole thing. I didn't really like when I saw Nicki Minaj featuring, it's a diss track feature. Like, once I saw the feat, I'm like, all right. Because now it doesn't really show that you can hold your own. So if you're not going to do it the right way, just don't do it. And overall, it's a very good song. I'll say that. It's a good song, but it doesn't really help Nicki Minaj's case. Because she took 2011. How do they say it in the South? 2011 days? I don't know. She just took a long time. I think that's how they say it in the South. I don't really understand what anybody's saying in the South. But it took a very, very long time is the bottom line. I want to know what you guys and girls thinks about the diss track. Should Nicki Minaj just have left it alone? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. One love.